Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Bridget. I am the social media guru here at Realty Executives New Jersey, and today we're going to be talking about why email marketing is still so important. Now, you're probably thinking, well, I get 8 million spam emails. What do you mean it's important? But you read something, right? I mean, how many offers do you get? But how many of them do you read? How many of them do you lead? How many of them do you actually take an action on as well? So, it pays to understand that email marketing is still so important and why we should be using it for a real estate business. Now, I think I had my first email address when I was like in middle school, right? So that was, I don't know, AOL and the encouraging, you've got mail when you first log in, right? Although, my inbox was kind of vacant back then. But still, flash forward to now, and I've had how many different personal email addresses until I've settled on my Gmail one for today that I use for personal. The various places of employment and what they've used. They've used Outlook or Gmail. And I'm still an avid email user myself. And it's one thing to use email for yourself and for your business, but 50% of the world's population still uses email as email marketing, and that's half the world, right? So, there are about 4.3 billion email users in the world, which sounds like a lot of people, but it also sounds like a really great way to promote your services because there are so many people still using email. Now, marketing strategies have included many different tactics over the years. You still see flyers that come through your paper mail, right? Your postal mail, TV advertisements, and I'm sure you still get those spam phone calls, things on social media. You're scrolling through something and an ad for something pops up because you were just talking about it like 30 seconds ago, right? Different videos, ads, whether they're on Facebook or Instagram, SEO optimized content. You're on Google and you see an ad on the side of Google for something that you were just Googling, right? But one thing is really clear about all of this. Email marketing remains one of the most important tools for real estate today, and it's going to remain that way in the future and through coming years. So let's get into what we're going to cover today. And we are going to be covering email usage itself, marketing ROI and email, personalization and open rates of email, mobile email marketing and some statistics there, your email deliverability. We'll go over where people are going to be reading their emails, and I'll show you some top tips that I think are good to note and to understand why to use email and why it's important going forward. So let's get into it. Okay, so as I said before, 4.3 billion people use email. And that number is really set to grow to about like 4.48 billion users in 2024, which isn't too far off. So what does it look like in emails? But in 2020, 306.4 billion emails were sent and received each day. And now that figure is expected to increase to over 361.6 billion emails a day in 2024. I'm going to let that sink in for just a second because that's quite a number. Yeah. So you might say that's a heck of a lot of spam people are receiving. Well, it might not all be spam, but the U.S. has had somewhere upwards of 3,000 current live spam issues, but the marketing emails received are continuing to engage people and lead to purchases of products and services across all industries. You only have to look at the ROI for email marketing, which continues to grow. So when you have only a limited marketing budget, you need to be sure that the marketing strategy you employ is going to be profitable, right? You can't just think that because you're sending an email, it's going to work or not work. You've got to understand the mechanics behind it itself. Now, many marketers are going to test a variety of tactics before investing a large chunk of the funds into whatever works. And of course, every business strategy is going to be different, but one thing is for sure, email marketing is going to give you results. There are how many tools out there where you can see who opened it, who didn't open it, who read part of it, who clicked on this link, who didn't click on a link. So pace to understand all this, right? The first email blast was sent in 1978. It generated 13 million in sales from that one email. And that was 1978, so it's pretty impressive, right? Though things have changed quite a bit since the 70s, with companies having to compete a lot harder for the customer's attention and their cash, the return on investment for email marketing is still sky high. Email marketing ROI is calculated at 4,400%. That's $44 for every dollar you spend on your email marketing campaign. And the best thing is you can start collecting subscribers and sending them emails for free. So when people ask, is email marketing dead? The answer is a resounding no. Now, whenever we send emails out, we're not doing it just for fun. We want people to open them, to read them, and ultimately to engage with them. That's the whole point of email marketing, engaging with new and existing clients, either to keep our brands front of mind or to promote new offers to them. And if no one opens the emails, where there's no point, right? So it's important to monitor these results and find out what's working and what isn't. One of the most important metrics in email marketing is the open rate. This tells you what percentage of subscribers opened the email. Now, on average, newsletters should have a 15 to 25% open rate, and I'm sure you're using your Prime Agent e-newsletter, right? So this depends on the health of your list, your subject lines, and even the industry that we operate in. So I'm going to show you a little bit more industry statistics below, just so you can get a little sense about what's going on out there, right? So the email marketing platform called GetResponse found this in their average results. With these particular figures in mind, keeping in mind that newsletters should have about a 50 to 25% open rate, you can see just how important it is to create an engaging welcome email with a clear call to action, not being too salesy though, because you don't want to put them off. Now, depending on the nature of what you're trying to convey, examples of an action for your readers could be to view property information, right? We've got that in our open house emails or just listed emails. A call to action could be to read a guide, read a white paper of some kind, watch an explainer video, or even download some kind of content. Now, considering triggered emails have the next best open rate, email marketers would be wise to choose an email marketing platform with automation capabilities. And lucky for you, Prime Agent does that for you. But how does the open rate vary between industries? And you'd be right to think that those that are working in the retail industry don't have the same kind of open rates boasted by a nonprofit sector. Everybody's different. Retail, obviously, that's kind of a given that they're going to have more of a popular open rate, right? So here are those industry open rates that I was talking about, and you can certainly see the difference between open rates and then a click-through rate in a lot. They're very different. What you might think as well. So according to Constant Contact, these are the industry open rates now. We're talking about October 2020. Of course, things for 2021 haven't come through just yet. But as you can see, having a good open rate doesn't necessarily mean an equally good click-through rate. For example, those working in the marketing, advertising, public relations, you see that line there, have one of the lowest open rates, but benefit from one of the highest click-through rates. Right, so not a lot of people might be opening their email, but those who do are actually taking an action and clicking to the next step. So click-through rates are also a very important metric to track. And after all, each email should have a clear call to action for the reader. And this metric lets you know if they've carried it out. So I want to show you a video here, and this is from our friends over at HubSpot. And they are going to talk to us about how to master email marketing. So let's check it out.
Are we really just going to sit here and pretend that email marketing isn't one of the most important parts of your business? We are? Oh. Okay. For everyone else, though, the data tells us that there are 4.3 billion, with a B, email users worldwide. With literally more than half of the planet using email, your business can't afford to not have an email marketing strategy. And unlike those social media platforms with their confusing features and constantly changing algorithm, and no one liking your posts for whatever reason, email marketing is relatively straightforward. What's up? I'm Jamal from HubSpot. In this video, I'm going to teach you the basics of email marketing, setting you up with a foundation for success that can last for years. If you find this useful, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the HubSpot YouTube channel. So, How do you become a master email marketer? Put simply, it's divided into 3 steps. 1, build your list. 2, maintain the health of that list. And 3, email that list with valuable content every time. Let's start by building your list. When building your email list, there's really one rule and one rule only, and that's never buy or rent a list. And actually, there are more rules, but let's just focus on that one for now. Buying or renting an email list can lead to low open rates, bad brand appearance, and even hefty fines from privacy protection agencies. So what should you do to build up a quality email list? Well, here at HubSpot, we built our email list by producing free ebooks that users discovered when searching for topics like Introduction to Data Visualization or How to Become an Influencer. Maybe you can offer a free trial of your service or an online seminar or other experience. Whatever you offer, it needs to be something valuable enough to convince users to part with their personal email information. In addition to the landing page, most websites will let you place a pop-up to collect email. Set one to appear after the user has spent some time on your site, which indicates that they're receiving value and might be open to more information. And if your business involves online ordering, make sure customers are prompted to opt into your email list when making a purchase. Why is it important that users opt in? Well, having users opt in means they want to hear from you. It also keeps you compliant with the ever stricter anti-spam policies being implemented by governments as well as email services themselves. A double opt-in is even more effective since it requires the user to open and click an automated email they receive when signing up. This not only prevents users from giving fake emails, but it also trains their email app to recognize quality messages from you. And with that, we just thought to spam folder. Way to go. How you go about building your email list will set the stage for future success. But just as important is how you maintain your list. This means periodically scrubbing your email list to remove emails that bounce or addresses that never open your emails. A good rule of thumb is to scrub your list every 6 to 12 months. You might be wondering, what's the harm in emailing people who don't open them, right? Like, why can't I should be able to do that, right? Well, another metric that email algorithms use to determine if something is spam is the engagement ratio. The more you send emails that never get opened, the more likely the email services will eventually categorize your emails as spam. Makes sense? The good news is that despite these increasing obstacles to email deliverability, the overall value of email marketing is actually on the rise. In 2010, Digital Marketing Association put the return on email marketing at $40 for every dollar spent. By 2019, that return increased to $42 for every dollar spent. Why has the ROI gone up? Because I'm opening everyone's emails for them. No, but actually though, a major reason is an increased use of segmentation in email marketing. Segmentation means dividing your email list into smaller groups so you can send each segment content specific to their interests. You can segment your list by demographic data like location, company size, or anything else that's important for your business. But the real email ninjas use what's called behavioral segmentation, which is grouping based on how the user previously interacted with your brand. Things like previous purchases, life cycle stages, and customer loyalty. Creating triggered email flows for specific behaviors allow you to be responsive to your users' needs. So it's no wonder that 77% of email marketing ROI comes from these sorts of segmented, targeted, triggered campaigns. It's the best tool for giving your audience the valuable content they'll want to open because they know it's tailored to their interests. And that's inbound, baby. Which brings us to our final step in mastering email marketing. Send valuable emails. The average office worker receives around 120 emails per day. That is many. Out of that 120, 40 are important business emails that require response. That leaves 80 other emails vying for attention. The only way to stand out is by having a super clickbait title for the subject line. That's a real tip. You should do that. No, the only actual way is to stand out by offering something your subscribers want to click on because it somehow improves their lives. Think about a company like OpenTable, who uses subscribers' past behavior to offer useful discounts or recommend new restaurants. Or Spotify, who send regular emails notifying users of new music by artists they follow. These are great examples of valuable emails that subscribers want to receive and are happy to open. One more useful tip. Whenever you're recommending something to your subscriber, be sure to remind them of the activity that triggered the recommendation. That way, they associate the good feeling of the previous experience with the new one you're offering. Now, when it comes to emails, conveying value starts with the subject line. This can mean literally telling the recipient what they'll get from opening the email, and try to do it in 50 characters or less. Use those 50 characters to pique the customer's interest. Don't give everything away up front, like me with Bobby Jenkins in the 4th grade. I gave him my Goku action figure, and then he He didn't talk to me anymore after that. Leave a bit of mystery so they'll feel compelled to open the email to know more. Just be sure that whatever you tease in the subject line is actually delivered in the body of the email. No one likes deceptive, clickbaity subject lines. I was kidding before. And 69% of spam reports come from subject lines alone, so watch out. Now, you can also use the pre-header. That is the first few words in the body of your email that get previewed in your inbox to support the subject line. Most email marketing systems will allow you to set the pre-header when you enter the subject line, so you don't have to worry about altering the actual body copy of your email. And always, A/B test your subject line so that each email you send teaches you something for the next one. So all the messages from your email list have been delivered. And thanks to your brilliant subject line and pre-header, good job, folks are itching to read what you sent them. So, what are you going to say? Crafting killer email copy could be its own video. Until that time, here's some tips. Tip number 1, keep text neat and simple with the main point up front. Use short sentences with lots of paragraph breaks. Save those verbose think pieces for your blog. This is an email. Tip number 2, write for your audience. Remember those list segments we made? This is why they're so important. And tip number 3, write in a friendly one-to-one style. This isn't just a good way to treat your customers, it also helps prevent your email from getting tagged as spam. And speaking of spam, HubSpot keeps an extensive list of spam trigger words that you should avoid when writing email copy. There will be a link in the video description below, and if you don't click on it, I'll be sent to the spam folder. You should also run your email through a spam test before sending it to make sure your formatting, punctuation, and fonts all pass through the filters. There are plenty of free spam checkers online you can use. You'd be amazed how a few tiny tweaks can make a huge difference. So when it comes to email marketing, sending valuable content in a compliant format to users who you know want to receive it will allow you to execute successful campaigns for years to come. Happy emailing. I'm off to the spam folder. Which, I don't know why that's like my I messed up sound. But it is, and we're rolling with it.
Okay, so those couple of things there, I love how he says it when he finishes the end of the video, but HubSpot's a really great, valuable tool and a free tool to be using, to be doing anything in marketing at all. But let's jump back in. And now we're going to talk a little bit more about personalization. So you did hear in the video them talking about personalization, more along the lines of, and I will also touch on this myself, clickbaity lines. Email subject lines that try to catch your attention. I mean, there's so many of them, but trying to be something that's a little more personalized about it is a lot better than being clickbait. But here, let's talk about it. So there's always something a little exciting about seeing your name in your inbox, right? Has that brand personally emailed you? Is the offer exclusive? And while personalized subject lines are nothing new, the data analyzed still only 16.75% were personalizing the subject lines. So what difference does it make exactly then? Well, open rates were definitely better. While non-personalized emails were opened by 19.57% of recipients, adding the customer's name saw open rates increase to 20.66%. I mean, granted, it's not a huge percent increase, but still. So the click-through rate, or CTR, lingo there. You got your notepad out? Click-through rate is CTR, yes. Was also slightly higher, 2.62% compared to 2.33%, while the click-to-open rate, I got another one for you. Take your yellow notepad out, write that down. Click-to-open rate, CTOR. I got 2 new terms for you here. The people who clicked through after opening your email was 12.7% versus 11.92. That's a really big increase there. So if you can add a customer's name in the subject line, it makes sense to do it in the body copy as well. And lucky for you, now Prime Agent may not be able to do it in the subject line itself, but it does allow you to do it very easily in the body copy. 31.93% of emails used personalized body copy, more than use a personal subject line, right? And this leads to a 21.75% open rate compared to 18.77. So that's a good start. So the CTR is also higher, 2.48 versus 2.33%. But when you get to the CTOR, and you've got your yellow notepad out, you wrote that down, right? The improvements stop. So personalized body copy only sees a CTOR. What does that mean again? Click to open rate, okay, of 11.42% compared to non-personalized emails that achieve a rate of 12.42%. Now, and something else too, not every single email provider will provide this, but emojis in email subject lines can help your message stand out in a typically monotone inbox, which is proven by their open rate of 20.37% compared to 19.73% when they're not used. I mean, personally for me, whether there's an emoji or not, it's more about the subject line, in my opinion. So, however, once the email has been opened, emojis don't seem to make a great deal of positive difference. I agree with that. And the CTR, click-through rate, of emoji emails is only 2.35% versus a 2.38%, while the CTOR is even worse, 11.52 compared to 12.07. So it looks like an emoji can help you get your email noticed, but you need to do more than that to make sure it's read. And that's where I think the subject line is really going to help you there. Now, 42% of all emails are opened on a mobile device. Think about it. What are you watching this webinar on? On your desktop, on your laptop, on your iPad, on your tablet, on your mobile phone of some kind? Maybe you have a flip phone? No? Okay. But this particular statistic here shows that recipients are likely to be reading your emails on the go. Now, this figure makes a lot of sense, seeing as 49% of all web traffic in the US was from mobile devices in 2019, a lot of which I'd imagine were directed to sites via email marketing. Guilty. Yes, guilty. So this should give you an idea of just how important it is to optimize your email campaigns for mobile and tablets. And in fact, 42.3% of readers will simply delete non-optimized emails, which is obviously something you really want to avoid. I mean, lucky for you, Prime Agent emails are already optimized to be open on any platform, so no need to worry. Now, desktop emails far outperform the open rate of mobile equivalents by 75.55% to 24.45%. It makes sense when you think about why. If your clients are sitting at their desktop, they're much more likely to be at work, a situation where they'll regularly open emails and be active online. Now, if they receive an email on mobile, chances are they finished work for the day and are, back at home or whatever, just hanging out, relaxing, right? So your email is popping up midway through their favorite TV show. It may not be met with a warm reception. It may not be opened. Okay. Well, even though data shows how emails are more likely to be opened on a desktop, that doesn't mean you should look to fill a desktop's worth of space with content. So now let's go back to our HubSpot video there, what they were talking about writing, right? Your clients are busy. They don't have time to read huge chunks of text. If anything, they'll skim your email to see if there's anything worth looking at. So writing from mobile forces you to use less text and clearer headings, both good practice for emails of any kind. So make sure your headings are easy to read and descriptive. You want to explain what the content below them is about, so people are scrolling through, they see it right away. Then keep your copy short. Data suggests that emails under 200 words long, right? So keeping your email under 200 words, less than 200 words, are most likely to be engaged with. That's a big number. 200 words. It's not a lot of words. All right, so where are people then reading their emails? What kind of provider are they using? Many people use software applications on their desktop, mobile, or tablet to read, send, and manage their email. If you're on an Apple device, maybe you have your Apple email client and you've got your Gmail email client. Maybe you've got everything all in one spot. If you're on your desktop, maybe you've got your browser with your Gmail, but your Windows is using Outlook. So, people are, and as you can see here, statistics, people are reading everywhere, more so on an iPhone and then Gmail on a desktop. So as you can see, email marketing is not something you want to overlook. So we've gone through a couple here of these statistics here, that 50% of the world's population uses email. So you still want to be using it, most definitely. And 42% of all emails are open on mobile devices. Definitely something that is worth noting. A lot of email users read their emails on an Apple iPhone. And, deliverability averages at 85.2%, which is also a very high number for email deliverability. All right, so now there's no way to guarantee everyone will engage with your emails. After all, not everyone will be looking for what you've got at that exact moment in time. No matter how you pitch it, they just won't be keen. So there are simple things you can do to give yourself a fighting chance. Now, HubSpot went over a couple of them. I've got a couple of other things I want to talk to you about. Mainly what you see on the screen here. Okay. Now, have you ever noticed how a fast food email hits your inbox around 5:30 or so, maybe like on a Friday, right? That's no coincidence. Brands know that's when you're most likely to be thinking about treating yourself, so they make it easy by hitting you with a discount code and pictures of your favorite burger. Email opened. Yeah. Think about when you want to engage with your clients. When are they likely to want your services? When are they likely to be checking their emails? Chances are their inbox will be full first thing in the morning. So they'll go through and clear out anything that doesn't look important. Okay, so first thing in the morning, maybe not the best idea. But if your email lands later on in the day, seeing that little one pop up in their inbox could be enough to grab their attention. So research suggests that 21.49% of emails are opened within the first hour of them being received. So make sure yours has space to be seen. Now again, I'm going to go back to this. Your subject line is everything. If it's boring, why should anyone read anything else? Now, while personalization can help, an email that says, name, here's our latest newsletter. It's not going to, my heart's not racing going, oh my goodness, I have to read that. A subject line that says, hey, Bridget, I've got an exclusive listing I think you'll love. A listing I'm going to love? Okay, well, that's more likely to grab my attention. Does it grab your attention there? If it's something that your clients are already looking for, they're going to appreciate you helping them find it. Now, your Prime Agent emails, you've got templates in there that have spaces already with images populated, and you can easily add one as well, because emails with images achieve open rates of 21% compared to those without that achieve rates of 15%. That's a big 6% difference there. Images. Engagement is better too, with a CTOR of 12% versus 10%. Images just make the email look more inviting. People are likely to engage with them during the working day or on mobile devices, meaning they don't have time to read through tons of text. They want to see a picture. Text looks boring. Text looks like hard work. Text looks like I have to concentrate. So adding relevant pictures in can break up the scroll and make your email marketing appear more professional. So the main point of any email marketing campaign is to get customers to click, right? You want them to click that link to see more about the listing. So make it as easy as possible for them to do that. And in your Prime Agent emails, notably maybe your open house one, there is that button there to click for more listing details. So a clear call to action that stands out from the rest of your copy are easier to spot no matter how fast someone is scrolling. You can put one at the top of your email if it's not there. The one in the Prime Agent open house one comes after the photos. So it's there and people don't need to read anything to complete the action. It just says, click here for listing details. Now, headers and subheaders are essential for readability. Long blocks of content aren't appealing and are impossible to read while scrolling. So headers give people something to look out for, allowing them to quickly scan your email and absorb all the information relevant to them. Emails with headers achieve a CTOR of 14% compared to those without, which only achieve 11. So depending upon what you're doing, if you're keeping it under that 200 words, you may not need subheaders. And of course, we talked about those clickbait headlines. Open this email, you'll believe what's inside. You sure? That might have worked once, but anyone who's had an email inbox since, I don't know, like, what did I say, 1978? will know it's a trick of the trade. Yeah, clickbaity headlines like this risk winding your audience up, so unless they genuinely won't believe what's inside, like a flying dog or something, don't bother. If the body of your email is interesting enough, mention it in the subject line. People can decide for themselves if it's worth clicking. And lastly, emails are just another branch of your overall communication platform. It's another branch of your brand. It's another branch of your tone, right? So if a client reads an email and clicks through to a website that sounds nothing like it, they're going to be confused. So at worst, they might think they've just been scammed. So don't you write your emails like you'd write anything else to ensure your brand consistency. Keep that tone of voice. Don't forget about it. So those are just a couple of tips there that I wanted to give you. So, you're going to write better emails now, right? Use my tips to ensure that people don't only read your email, but they actually look forward to receiving it. Use those Prime Agent email tools that you have. You've got your free broadcasts. Your e-newsletters are a paid feature. And of course, if you want to get the paid features turned on, I'm happy to help with that. And your office manager can help with that as well. So if you've got any other questions about email marketing, that is my name on the screen there. That's my phone number. That's my email. Happy to answer any questions you may have about email marketing. And I hope you learned a little bit more about why email marketing is just still so important. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. Until next time.